Clearing it all away, needed some house cleaning. Yeah, throwing out all the fakes, needed some house cleaning. Dust them up, then sweep them up to the garbage truck. First place, you just run up. Got a problem, then you can just run up. Nigga, run up. Yeah, clearing it all away, needed some house cleaning. Yeah, throwing out all the fakes, needed some house cleaning. Dust them up, then sweep them up to the garbage truck. First place, you just run up. Got a problem, then you can just run up. Nigga, run up.
I left the playboy matches in my house, didn't think they would burn it down. Now there's nobody else around. They want my TD, ain't no something found. So much fake love, I am scared of the real. Make that mistake to consider how you feel, yeah. You don't wanna be the greatest you can be, you just wanna be greater than me. Soon as I see the key to unlock my greatness, you was quick to just bury it deep. I've been social distancing before there was a COVID-19. Y'all sick, put the mask on when I let it sing. Can't be still running like the Tiger King, see. Underline of someone's value is from the bottom of the core. But don't undermine who you spend time with, they're the ones you're gonna exhort. Constantly copy no games like Kirby. Came from the bottom, now I'm border like Curry. Get to the fame, now everybody thirsty. Whole town's on my back like a New Jersey. Clearing it all away, needed some house cleaning. Throwing out all the fakes, needed some house cleaning. Dust them up, then sweep them off to the garbage truck. First place, you just run it up. Got a problem, then you can just run on up. Run on up.
Yeah, clearing it all away, needed some house cleaning. Yeah, throwing out all the fakes, needed some house cleaning. Dust them up, then sweep them off to the garbage truck. First place, you just run it up. Got a problem, then you can just run it up. Run it up.
Insecure dummies wanna hate me cause I'm pure. And it's pretty trying to get in my sheets. Oh, she's yours. But I got a queen and they hate that too. Bunny on a post like we love y'all too. They wait on the end point, don't wear your kicks. Can't find the legs.
All right. How's everybody doing? Listen. Welcome to Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. Listen, we have the Brave Brothers in the house as well. So you know what? We're having a good time here tonight. It's a windy, cold day here on the East Coast, but nevertheless, we are alive and giving God what? The praise. And we're so excited about tonight. I'm excited about my guests. I'm excited about the conversation. And those of you who don't know, I hope you do know that it is Women's Month, the month of March. And we're celebrating women everywhere. And so this whole month on Bravo with Sheila, we are going to be celebrating and giving standing ovations to my guests. And tonight we kick it off with Sabrina Francis, giving her standing ovation and giving her that huge bravo. Yes. You know how we do here. We get involved. The chat gets involved. And so I welcome you once again. We were designed, and this was designed to help move you from pain to power and from power to victory. That's right. Influencing, enriching, and giving you what? Hope. And offering all types of information on this platform. Everything we do here is positive. You know, across the YouTube streets is my ministry channel, Sheila Ingram Ministry Broadcast, where we go live on Wednesdays at noon. And we're going to start going live on Sundays. So it's a good thing here that we're doing on both sides of the YouTube streets. So I welcome you once again. My name is Sheila Ingram, and I'm excited about my guests. I'm excited. I've known her for a number of years, and I just felt like it was time for me to give her a bravo and give her flowers. All right, we're going to get into the show. All right, stay right there. Right. My mic keeps shutting off. All right, there we go. Give yourself a bravo. You take that right hand, that left hand, hug yourself and give yourself a bravo just because, and you do not need permission. And I said so. So listen, tonight we got Sabrina Francis in the house. You know how we do it here at Bravo on Tuesdays and Thursdays live. I want to tell you a little bit about her. You know how we do here. We keep it kind of simple and we just flow. And just let me tell you a little bit about her. She's comfortable working with children. She sings both opera and musical theater. I'm telling this lady got, oh, God done bless her in so many lanes in her life. Oh, yeah. She's acting and she's does voiceover. She sings rock and pop and she sings, guess what, in other languages as well. I'm telling you, why am I giving her a bravo? You hear why I'm giving her a bravo. She's a flexible actress. You know what that means? When you flexible but firm. She's flexible. You can just hand her a script and she gets with it. UCLA Opera Performance, Los Angeles, 1993. USC, University of Southern California, Master's Opera Performance. Listen, New York City vocal lessons is so much, and I don't want to take away from her chatting about herself. So I am going to bring her to the Bravo stage and welcome her like we always do.
Hi. It's great to be here. It's so good to see you. It really, really
Oh,
is.
how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I can honestly say I am doing very well.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to Bravo. We welcome you. We're glad you're here. And tonight you're kicking off the month of March, Women's Month, of
Fabulous.
me giving standing ovations to particular women that I know, women that have influenced me one kind of way or another, whether through friendship, encouragement, or just having a wonderful relationship. And you are kicking off the first Tuesday of the Bravo segment of just what? Honoring women and giving you a standing ovation and saying bravo to you in all that you do. You've done so much, you do so much. You know, I can't remember. I do remember when we first met. I think we met at, let's see, we have some bravettes. What we do on this platform
Right.
is we have folks in the chat, right? And when the folks come in the chat, they interact with us. That's why I tell you
Awesome.
we're not rigid. We're just really, really flowing and just authentic here. We have the official Bravette in the chat, and Nay,
Nice.
she is here. She's saying, let me put up, she's greeting you. She's
How you
saying,
doing?
she is saying hey at Sabrina Francis. She's saying hello to you. And of course, she's saying hello to me. I hold her really dear to my heart. I really, really do. So she's here. And those that are in the bleachers that don't want to be in the
Nice.
chat, we welcome you as well. So listen, I am so happy to be here. I haven't seen you in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I know your heart and what you do in the community and what you've been doing. But let's take it back a little bit. Let's not go forward too quick. I want
Okay.
to talk about, we met some 20 something years ago, maybe.
More we met, gosh, it's close to that because it was when I first very soon after I moved here from California. So it was
Yes.
literally about 2008, 2009. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's been and I think we were at a church function
Yes,
or
you were
some,
singing, and I think I approached you because it was at St. James's Presbyterian there in Harlem, and I
yes.
approached you because I really appreciated what you said and your singing. So that's honestly how we first met, and I believe they had a luncheon or something downstairs
Yes.
afterwards as well. Yes.
And that's when we kind of merged and exchanged numbers and
Hmm.
and we spoke. And then listen, that I think you sang, didn't you sing that day?
I did. I don't remember what I sang, but
I
I
well, I
remember singing downstairs. Uh-huh.
well, well, listen, what impressed me and what really, really drew me to you was your personality and that, that heart that you had, as well as when you opened your mouth and started singing opera, I was done. I was totally done. And I think you sang a song that I really, really love. As a matter of fact, one year you came to my house and I made you sing it. I didn't make you.
Oh,
The
it
song
was
is
Yeah, Yezu. Yezu. Yes.
no,
Uh-huh.
sing a line for me. Just sing. Go
Oh,
ahead.
all I know, he just went, Jesu, Jesu. It's been a while since I've sung that.
Oh,
We'll stop there.
yes, yes, yes. Ah, that's such a favorite song, a favorite piece of mine, I should say. And when you sang that, I was like, oh my God, I play that a lot. I play that a lot. It's so
Oh, that's
beautiful.
awesome.
Your voice, and all that you do, Sabrina, you're so talented and gifted. And I had to give you a standing ovation tonight.
Appreciate
Let's
it.
go back. Let's go back. Let's go. You merged here from California. And I
Hmm.
know you did go to UCLA, opera performance you did in Los Angeles, and then you went to University of Southern California,
Correct.
right? And you've done so much. I'm going to let you say, and Nate is saying beautiful voice.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You don't find too many of us like in that lane, and so
Mhm.
you must be recognized. So let's take it back a little bit. You grew up in California. Tell us a little bit about your life.
Well, I'm the next to the youngest of four children. There's my sister, Evangeline, Deborah, myself, and then my younger brother, who is actually, since he's the only boy, he might as well been the oldest. How he still acts, love him, blah, blah. But it's but both my parents were teachers. They were always super encouraging for anything that we pursued. Um, they were kind of like they were one of the groups of parents that were everybody else's parents. So our house was always filled with
Mm,
kids that all kind of merged in between the different houses. And
mhm,
so I was very fortunate um, because I mean, well, my family's from Louisiana, so we moved
oh,
to California as part of that migration in the early 70s.
mhm,
And I can honestly say, I was just very fortunate with my family life. Not saying my parents are perfect, my family wasn't perfect, but one, my parents stayed together for 55 years.
bravo.
Um, and so they instilled a lot of um, work ethic into us, being kind to people, work with people, but don't be a pushover, things like that.
Mhm,
And they're just great people. So what moving forward from there, I was just fortunate. It's like I sang all my life. I've always sung, and I ended up studying at UCLA. Honestly, through a dare from a teacher in high school. I
mm,
always sang in choirs, but I was extremely shy. Extremely shy. That's really my natural stance. It's just to be very shy, but I always sang. So I had a teacher, Mr. Castro, who was like, "Look, you're always singing. Why don't you join this competition that the district, LA Unified School District, was having? Is just a Harrison voice competition." And at first I was like, I don't know. He goes, "I dare you." I was like, "Well, I will always take a dare." And so he helped me learn the songs I was going to sing, and I actually won. And the prize, I believe, was something like $600 or $700 to take voice lessons with anyone that you chose. So I was recommended to go up to UCLA, found this one teacher, Kari Windingstadt, and studied with her for about 6 months. It shows you inflation. And then literally forgot about it. I wanted to go to school to study history because I wanted to be a history teacher because I've always loved history and I've always loved to read. And then I figured I'd just sing on the side because I had a really good friend whose mom was a backup singer for Sting. And I was like, ooh, that's the way to go, be a backup singer and everything. But what happened was that when I ended up going to UCLA, they remembered me and they basically approached me saying, "Look, we understand you wanted to go more into the liberal arts. Why don't you try taking some of the classes, take some lessons, and then audition for the school again?" And so that's what happened. But even once I got into the music school, I was not thinking about opera. I was like, jazz, whatever.
mhm,
And again, I guess people get to know me. I was very dead set against of taking opera workshop. But I remember one day walking into the school and there was the opera workshop teacher, my voice teacher, and I believe the head of the department going, "Why?" And they dared me again to learn the second act finale from Marriage of Figaro. And I
mm,
was like, "Well, if you're going to dare me, I'm going to do it." I've always been very competitive.
Yeah.
Learned it, and I fell in love. I really fell in love because it was everything I loved: the costume, the languages, the research, the history, the pretend, because in my head the world is always a musical. There's always something going on. I just kind of keep it under wraps. But
And you also Sabrina speak different languages. You
well, I can if I have to, I can kind of futz my way around in German because we were going to Germany a lot, and
Mhm.
so I had a chance to practice. And when I was living in LA, it was my thing to learn Spanish. Now, I'm not my friend out here, they tease me because even though I'll try and speak Spanish or practice again, my brain thinks more German
Mm.
or English. But I'm very fortunate. As long as I get put in the situation, I'll work, and I'll really try. I really feel like it's respect to the culture and to the people to at least to try to speak the language, and you become immersed, and it's so fun. And it's funny because in school I wanted to double as a linguistic major, but because of the nature of UCLA, we had to stay within our schools. They didn't
Mhm.
crisscross. I don't know what it's
Mhm.
like now, but that's still a passion, like a bucket list. I would love just to go live someplace and just really immerse into the language.
Yeah, you're very smart. I always said that when you and I became closer and we began to share and talk, and you was
Hmm.
talking about your life. So after leaving the school and getting into opera and learning the culture of everything, uh, you then migrated to New York City after
Correct.
a while. Is that correct? How old were you when you guys moved to New York?
I moved to New York when I was 31, 32,
Okay.
because and that was a fluke too, because I had auditioned for schools and had gotten into Manhattan School of Music, received a partial scholarship, but then actually ended up not going. That's how I ended up going to USC, because both my parents are teachers, and that was the year LAUSD decided to take back a 10% retro
Mm.
um, raise, because my parents are going to pay for the other part.
Okay.
So the idea was like, okay, take a year off work, but while I was there performing, someone saw me and recommended that I go to USC and study with this one teacher there. So that's how that happened. And
Okay.
then for coming out here, unfortunately, my sister had passed,
Mm.
and my sister Deborah. And my brother was out here, now married, had just had his first child, and was like, "We need a family representative at my son's birthday party." I was like, "Oh, I'll come."
Yeah.
Came out here, started doing auditions, and kept getting work, and that's how I ended up
Staying in
staying. Mhm.
on the East Coast.
Correct. Because
Yeah.
I had no plans, because I got caught in the nor'easter when I was auditioning. I was like,
Oh, you
never
didn't.
again.
Coming from California was like, what in the world is going on over here?
Exactly.
I heard about this, but now I'm experiencing it. Yeah. So that was around the time you had just recently moved when I met you.
Correct.
And we met at the church, and I don't know if it was a concert, whatever. I know I was singing. I don't know if I was preaching and you was singing. I don't remember what it was, but I know we connected, and your voice was just so beautiful. And then we began to talk about all the other things
Yes.
that interest you and things that you were into, which is community. You are very community minded, and you are power to the people. You're about your people. Although you are well versed in other cultures or whatever, you are very cultured in terms of your heartbeat towards the youth
Hmm.
and advancing people. So I know again that the acting and the voiceover you do, you sing rock and pop. It's nothing you can't sing. You sing in other,
Unfortunate.
yeah, you're fortunate you sing in
Hmm.
other languages comfortably,
Hmm.
and you're a flexible actress. So you're a part of, now you then came over and started, at this point you started working community, I think. Is that correct? Or just you tell your story.
Well, I know for me, my saving grace all throughout school was music. I always had, I was very fortunate to attend schools in California at the time where it was a very strong arts and humanities component. I don't even remember who was in government at the time, but they were handing out money like crazy to these schools to build up these arts programs.
Mm-hmm.
So um, because of that, I dove in head first. I was very quiet, but I was always up on the teachers. I want to do this. I want to do that. Can I please do this? Can I please do that?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
auditioning for things. Um, so I realized for me, whenever I was trying to learn something and I felt that I was having a hard time or some kind of issue, I would put it to a rhythm or I would sing it, and it helped me organize it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I had other friends who would do the same too. So I thought, okay, well, that, it's just the way to go. So, hence, whenever I noticed, whenever I had a friend or just even a child I was working with, because I started working, well, I started babysitting when I was 14, but I really started focusing on younger kids about 18, 19. I just liked them.
Mm-hmm.
And I could always get them to do something if there was a song involved, if there was some type of rhythm. And I'm not going to lie, that's what my dad used to do to us. My parents, we were like, why are we cleaning? It's because they started playing music and singing. So they would do stuff, you know,
That's cute. Yeah.
and, and just became very interested in child development because I noticed myself how I had to do certain things to learn or even to squash my own anxiety. I had
Mm-hmm.
friends, my elementary school especially had a lot of kids from different countries, and I noticed the teachers used a lot of music and rhythm throughout the day and the curriculum to get us all engaged, to keep us moving along, some more than others. And again, junior high school, and I think because there were so many eclectic people out there because of the whole acting thing, or just California, my high school teachers had a math teacher. He would like fake hitting his head to get us to long to calm down so we can learn algebra. I have so many stories about my strange teachers, but they were fabulous educators. So they were edutainers before edutainers became a thing.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And so when I would see my friends, then later as I started teaching children struggle, I always thought about, well, let's see if I can reach them through music. Can I reach them through the use of rhythm? Can I reach them through art? And it seemed to work. And I was very fortunate. It was funny to be a substitute teacher at my dad told me to sub because I had like 4 more classes to finish my master's.
Mm-hmm.
Like just sub that way you have flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up teaching this special ed preschool class for 2 years. I started the program and they gave me flexibility, but I saw how I could create this world in the classroom. It was very academic, but very, very arts and play infused because that's how children learn. That's actually how people learn. So from there, my class and my colleague next door who was a writer, we would swap back and forth. She had kindergarten and the kids flourished, and I really liked that. And I didn't mind doing the work. I didn't mind the paperwork at the time. I didn't mind having to study and learn some things in order to really be able to service these children because I
Mm-hmm.
saw that they needed it as well as the parents.
Yeah.
So then fast forward coming out here to New York, my dad was like, well, you know, do the same thing. But
Mm-hmm.
I ended up falling in to this education company where I was doing child development classes, probably shouldn't have been, for preschool teachers. But again, from experience and reading and some of the
Right.
classes I had taken, I was going in there and teaching them how, again, to do curriculum and infuse the arts because that's early education anyways. But
Yes.
getting them to feel comfortable at their level. I said, you don't have to be a performer. The kids just want to see you model and have a good time. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but be prepared, but know that's what you're doing. And from there, I had a few directors approach me saying, "Look, do you teach music?" And that's how my whole business started because I didn't want to work in the office in between gigs. So that's why I
Yeah.
started teaching in preschools. And with
Yeah.
that, hitting up people in the community to do what I'm talking about. So.
Yeah, awesome. And I know your heart is for children. Your heart is, everything with you. Like you were telling me, you hear everything musically. And I remember we had a conversation and you were working somewhere, I forget what organization, and you realized that something was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about doing lullabies.
Yes.
You told me you wanted to record some lullabies for babies, to calm them into
Mhm.
whatever. Did you pursue that?
I have in different capacities because just life. I hate to say life kind of got in the way, but I
Always.
have for real. But I always think there's a time. I know that my biggest thing with parents was trying to get them to understand you don't have to be a great singer. You don't. It's just you taking that time to sing and bond with your child or rap with your child or sing song with your child because in so many ways you're helping their brain and their emotions and everything to develop. And I came to with the lullabies because I realized people weren't singing them like they used to.
Right, right. You said that.
And so and even with the kids I work with now, because I teach an after school program, like 1 hour a day. And I go in there, I don't care what you sound like. Now it's just getting them to move more
Hmm.
than they'll sing, but they won't move. But just trying to get them to connect to their bodies because I know that the more connected you are to your body, the better you do academically because you have to move, in order to
Right.
learn. So now full circle to the lullabies.
Yeah.
Um, now that I have some time, I really have made a list and I decided, okay, just pick a day of the week and you're just going to I'm going to sing a lullaby live and
Oh,
record it,
okay.
and that's something I'm working on to start actually end of the month, like every Friday to have a little story time and a lullaby.
That sounds so
Yeah.
awesome. You
Mhm.
know how you merge from, your parents, you come from a two-parent home and they both were teachers and musically inclined. They as well pushed you to stay in the lane of where your passion was and your purpose. You
Mhm.
like you said, you were fortunate enough to have the connection early on.
Mhm.
And that voice of yours is like, I was like, oh my goodness, like, why didn't I study opera? Like, right, Sheila, But I found out also, no, but I found out in terms of opera, if you are introduced to it early on and you are developed, have the right vocal coach, the right vocal teacher,
Absolutely.
that can be developed. Sometimes we're put in boxes. Oh, you can just sing this or jinx, and that's not true because the voice is like an elastic. It's like a rubber band, and the
Exactly.
more and about voice. I do too, but you're way above me in terms of understanding techniques and everything. With that favorite song of mine that I remember when you came here and I said, please sing it for me. And you was like, oh my God. And I put you on the spot. I think it was like a Christmas time. I invited a couple of ladies over
I
and you came
remember.
over and I put you on the spot. Hold on. Let's say hello to some people that just came into the chat. These are
Hello.
hello. They're greeting you and they're greeting me. Hi, First Lady. And we have Sir Hell Speaks in the house. You
Yes.
once you leave here, you must go and check out their channels, SHSN. You would love her channel. The creative space she has, I'm telling you,
Oh,
totally up your alley. Totally, totally, totally. So you definitely have to check her out. And we have
oh
hello
wow.
to Sir Hale is saying hello to you, and
Hello.
he's saying hello to me. Yeah. So, like I said, you are the first guest of Women's Month here on Bravo, and we're giving standing ovations for the whole month. Along with the Bravo. What? I mean, you got a Bravo, you got to have the standing ovation if you get a Bravo. And you have been doing so much, and now you are doing so much. Let's talk about what you're doing now. I think it's your LLC that you're doing. You've
Right.
done
The
so
Living
much
Arts
work
Fellowship.
across. Yeah, wait a minute. Let's back up. You even went out of the country. You did some work in some other country. You were somewhere singing. Where did you go?
Oh, well, again, I was fortunate for several, actually more than several years, a good over the span of like 8 years, I had a chance to tour with Porgy and Bess
Right.
predominantly, and then I also did some programs in Munich, Germany, and but yeah, so I toured a lot, and it was great. So that was a great selling point for me for many of my schools, because the parents knew that I would disappear for 3 to 6 months, depending on the tour. And
Mhm.
anytime I came back, I did a unit on the country and the music and
Mhm.
the people where I
Yeah.
would go with the children, you know.
Right. Right.
And it was so much fun. But so I've had a chance, and even in college, I've gone to Russia, I've gone to Estonia, Lithuania, Germany, Italy. Um, where else have I been? Just England. Just
Wow.
his voice has carried me so many places I read about as a child, and I dreamed about going, but it was nice to go on somebody else's dime. I
I'm
now want to go.
sure.
Now I would like to go, and just relish in the culture, and of course try and find the hot spots to still be creative, because I
Yes,
do have colleagues and things out there now that I still talk to.
I'm sure.
Um, but y- yeah, it was fabulous. It was my dream. I even had a chance to go to Pompeii. That was my life since I was 7.
Really?
I dreamt of going to Pompeii and walking around because I was so fascinated. It was the eeriest experience of my life, but I loved it. Just thinking, I can't believe I'm here. Since I was 7, I had like pictures of Pompeii. It's kind of sick, but I just wanted to see. you know.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot one more time because you know my favorite song.
Mhm.
And I mean, when I heard you say, I was like, oh, that's the song I listen to all the time, right? Because I love classical, I love all types of genres of music. Or just for the guests in the chat, give them the first couple of lines of my favorite song, my
All right,
favorite
let me look it up.
piece
It's
that
been a long time since I've sung it.
just sing a little piece of it. You know, the song is so beautiful.
It is. It is. I just want to have it. It.
You don't have to be perfect. You
No,
could just
I'm
sing
not
a
perfect. Just so I don't make it up. So
See, my cousin is saying, can we hear a little, please?
no problem.
Yes, this lady here gets a standing ovation across the world. She's been on so many stages with so many different people and artists, and she's very humble. See, she totally forgot about that. Had I not said it or mentioned it,
I know
she
it's true.
she wouldn't have said anything. But I remember. I remember. You found it?
hmm
Okay, go for it.
Okay, it's just
Just close your eyes, get in your space. We're
no
waiting.
problem.
Hmm.
Yes. Peace, oh, peace, oh, peace, oh, peace, oh. Something like
Bravo!
that. I owe you a rain check. I'll do a video and send it to you.
Oh, bravo, bravo, bravo. So beautiful. Oh my God, it's blessed you so much. And culturally, going through and learning and singing opera, how many people of color have been in your crossing your path at
Oh,
these times in California, as well as let's talk about because you were raised in California, you came to New York when you were 32. So the bulk of your career in terms of your planting was in LA, California, which we know is so many different talented people. But in terms of opera, how many people honestly in your classes were
oh.
in were in studying opera?
Well, I could honestly say the numbers have grown, but when
No, go back.
I
Go
was about
back.
to say, but when I was in school, there were three of us. It was myself, Deanna, and Mark. We were the only three for quite a while. And then after that, some people came in after us. But and then even at USC, and I was at UCLA, and at USC, was I the only one?
Must
I was
be.
the only one for a while, and then another young lady came.
Wow.
Because the reason why I remember was because it's so funny. I did this competition, and there's a reason why I'm saying I did this competition, and I came in fourth, honorable mention. But the lady invited me to her house at the time, and she's like, "Look, you are a fabulous talent, but these people are not going to know what to do with you. You're this tall, beautiful Black woman, and opera is still going through this change." Because, of course, at the time, they had the Leontine Prices and the Shirley Verreys and the Martina Royas, you know what I mean? But it was still very
Very small.
right. And she really encouraged me. She goes, "You need to do what you need to do and do these soul packs or these packs around." She goes, "Tour, because people will love you." Anyways, so that's always resonated in the back of my mind. So it wasn't until I moved to New York City where I was like, "Where are all these Black people who sing opera?" And even then, it was still very small, because in most spaces it would only be like, even when I was in the choir at New York City Opera, maybe five,
Exactly.
maybe,
Exactly.
and I know for me, a lot of times, because my voice is so large,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, they would, before I was soprano at first, and I was thinking, "What are you thinking?" But I had this extension, but I don't live high. I live middle to low, but I had this extension, or I have this extension. And so what happened, I had to switch when I was doing a duet from Norma to sing Alda Giza, because her part is lower, because I was drowning out, you
Mm.
know. So that's how the whole mezzo lane finally came into play, because whenever I sang the mezzo roles, because they didn't have any mezzos, everybody was a
Mm.
soprano, it felt so natural. It was still work, but it felt natural.
Mm.
So again, coming here to New York, I was fortunate, because one of my first jobs that I got was because someone from New LA contacted someone from New York saying, "This young
Okay.
lady is out there. Would you listen to her?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, "Oh, I'll just get feedback." But he actually hired me,
Mm.
so things like that. But
Yeah.
I would say that's why singing Porgy and Bess was so amazing. When I walked into that room and saw a cast of like 50 plus, Black people, and the sound,
Yes. Oh my.
amazing. Because I actually did see a production of it in Los Angeles, because they had given a whole bunch of us tickets, just music students, to go see
Mhm.
it at LA Opera.
Yeah.
To actually hear it, in real
Oh
time,
wow.
it blew it blew my mind.
I can only
It really
imagine
did.
that sound. Yeah, that's
And
so
I mean,
awesome.
I cried for years, not from just like joy, just to be on stage. I was so happy that we were like, "Ooh, a funeral scene, we can like cry and not got in trouble," right? But right, and that's honestly what helped. One of the things that helped me um feel very comfortable, like, okay, this is why I'm here,
Hmm.
because the volume that I carried, as well as my height, at times made me feel insecure.
Okay.
But they're actually the gift that's carried me to do all these amazing things.
Mm.
The height, I needed it to be on stage for what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then the voice to carry, and yes, to teach and everything, but it was more to sing and to
Right.
be able to do,
Well, you know what
that and do it well.
the Lord, the Bible says your gift will make room for you, right? So it doesn't matter how you're packaged, it's the gift that he will expose, and
Hmm.
that will push doors open. And
And
people
that's
need to understand that no matter what your gift is, whether it's singing, whether it's being even a parent or whatever, it will make room for you. And sometimes we as people don't recognize, we downplay the gifts because it's not in comparison to what they would say a gift is,
True.
and we all are packaged with particular gifts and several gifts all at one time. And there are many branches within us as far as the giftings that God has given us. And so even though you are insecure, you was bashful, you're very tall, which you are, and so the insecurity, God would not let that overshadow you. And so he gave you this dynamic thing that no one could not, deny, right?
True.
It could not deny it. And you're humble. It's not like, I mean, you'll walk in a room and no one will know anything. Like, I always put you on the spot whenever I see you, especially if I'm around people, because that's what we're supposed to do for our sisters,
Right.
right? And our brothers. We're supposed to expose them or introduce them or share them and say, look who's in the room with us. Look who's in this space,
Absolutely.
right? A blessing. So now we fast forward a little bit from your music life. And now I know your heart is totally community. You deal with children all the time. You're at the Living Arts Village, right? That's your LLC. And then I
Correct.
want you to talk about this book that
Oh,
you've
okay.
written.
Okay.
Let's talk about this thing that you're doing now, that you're pushing, this heartbeat that you're pushing right now. And what is the title of it? Sabrina,
It's called Shut Up,
up.
Sabrina.
Shut up. Shut up, Sabrina. That's what it's called. And
Uh-huh.
so we didn't have time to put, not my fault, I'm blaming her.
I know
Uh,
it is
to
my
put
fault. I take total hit for that. Yeah.
to put it up so you guys could see it. Do you have a copy near you
I
right now?
do.
Okay,
I
can you
do.
hold the copy up?
Sure. Hopefully it won't. Oh, it did. Yeah, it's mirrored. That's it.
It's fine. It's yeah. I
Great.
hope they can see that. Move it a little bit over near your
Sure.
name.
This way?
Yeah,
Okay.
near
I
near
noticed that
your
little
name.
ring
Yeah, there. Okay,
is
shut up,
closer.
Sabrina. Okay, let's talk about this
Sure.
book that you've written. And I don't know what
Okay.
happened to your light, but there it is. Okay, let's talk
Okay.
about that.
All right. Well, basically, it's somewhat biographic. Even how I even started singing, period, in public. Um, basically, I say that Shut Up Sabrina is about a little girl finding her voice with the help of a mentor who
Mhm.
who noticed her and instilled faith in her. So my family and friends and everybody were always telling me to shut up because I was always singing. And it got to the point where, especially at school, I mean, I didn't realize I was singing half the time. I was always humming, I was always making up songs. And if anyone knows me, I sing, I'll burst out singing a song or something I'm saying. It's just part of my DNA. And so, um, especially my siblings, they were just like, "Oh my God, you're always singing, you're always doing something. Just shut up already." So it got to the point where I thought it's something I didn't think I could sing. Guys, I did not think I could sing until I was 16 or 17. I just
Wow.
did it because I loved how it made me feel. So this teacher, Miss Westchester, saw me looking sad one day. I don't even know what happened. It was after choir or something they had in the auditorium. And she goes, "What's wrong?" And I told her, and she was like, "Well, look, we have a choir performance coming up. Why don't you sing a solo?" And I was like, "Really?" And so she said, "Learn this part of the song. And then when it comes to that part, you'll just sing it." And it was funny because she didn't have me come down to the mic. I was in the last row because I was loud. I was in the last row on the risers. There were about 30 kids. And when the music came around from the second verse, to this day, I went, I can't believe I sang that solo from the top row in
Wow.
the back, and yet everybody could hear me.
Yeah.
That's how loud I was, but it didn't click like that till years later.
Hmm. Hmm.
And because it wasn't like now they have mics everywhere. There was like a mic down there and a mic down there,
Right.
but.
Exactly.
And from there I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. So I started going to the library, and I was finding all these flyers. Yes, date flyers for different programs. I'm like, Mom, Dad, can I go to this? And they were awesome. They would drive myself and my brother to these different, for me, performance groups. And so every summer I would do these performances at this place in Hollywood. This man had created a program called Rock Theater. But anyways, so back to the book, I just wanted to show that even though this little girl loved singing so much and how it made her feel, but yet still so many people coming at her negatively, she didn't understand that she was loud. She really thought she was bothering them and she sounded terrible. So this
Wow.
teacher was like, no, you can do this. And once she got over her fear, she realized this is a beautiful thing. I love doing this and no one can take it away from me. So that's
Wow.
kind of the gist of the book.
Read a
And that's
page. Read a page for us. Read a page out of your book. And what's the age for that particular? What's the age for that book? Is it a
um,
series or is it just
it
is
will be a
is it
series.
going
This
to
is the
be a
first one.
series?
Hmm.
Okay. Read the first
So
page.
it's ages like 4 to about 9.
Okay.
All right. So it goes, there was a talented little girl named Sabrina. Anytime, anywhere, this girl loved to sing. There's little pages.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
She sang when she was happy. She sang when she was sad. She sang in the car with the radio, imitating her dad. So it's for mom and dad.
Uh-huh.
Mom and
Yeah.
dad. We were always singing in the car. It was fun. She sang in the kitchen with her iPod. She sang in the den with her TV. But her favorite place to sing was in the bathtub, where she could hear her voice echoing.
Okay,
And
stop there because I want
yeah,
people to buy it.
no, I was going to stop there. And that's honestly why my siblings told me to shut up, because I would lock myself in the bathroom for hours and then get upset when they had to go to the bathroom.
What a
Yeah,
wonderful story. So
yeah.
wonderful, Sabrina. How can people purchase your book? And what's your handle on your IG and just your website or wherever people can contact you?
Okay. Well, you can buy the book on Amazon.com. Just put in the title, Shut Up Sabrina by Sabrina Francis. Um, that's where it is right now. And right now, my main IG on Instagram is Learn with Tati Sabrina. This is something that's been derived because of all the children I worked with, and then my nieces on both and nephews on both coasts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Tati Sabrina out here, or Tati Brina and Auntie Bree in California. So we all talked and like, well, just put them together and be Tati Sabrina. So that's my online presence name right now. So you can find
Awesome.
me on TikTok and on Instagram at Learn with Tati Sabrina. And then I also have a YouTube channel that I actually built with a really dear friend um, for my graduate project. For it was my master's in early education.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now building it back up again because I did it, got a lot of feedback to see what people really wanted. So now I'm like, okay, now we can move forward with the
Nice.
so that's also Learn with Tati Sabrina. So you can find me Facebook there, Instagram and TikTok at Learn with Tati Sabrina.
That's awesome. Awesome. So what is in the future for you? What are your long-term goals? Before we close the show, what are your long-term goals?
Well, one of them is I definitely want to get back out on the stage again. Now that everything's died down with COVID and dealt with some issues I've had, um, that's it. I want to perform. And whether it be through the lullabies or with the children, but I also have things that I've written for myself. And I just really love music. I love the more dramatic to the very simple. And I feel like the world's my oyster. I definitely want to be wise, but why not? I just want to enjoy myself. you know.
And you
So,
should.
mhm. But definitely developing the Learn with Tati Sabrina, and then performing more as myself. So,
That's awesome. So, Sabrina, what would you say to someone who has a gift and they had voices in their ear as you had in
mhm.
your ear, in terms of someone being like, why are you still doing this and that, and like dream killers? There are dream killers out there, right?
Mhm.
And if you're not confident, and we all aren't born confident, right? And we can have someone with such a powerful gift or gifts. And if we're in the wrong space or not around the strength of the voice of people that we need, it can really kill your dreams. And,
Mhm.
and you never will progress into it because it done shot you down as a child. And so no one comes along to water you back up as a growing, beautiful flower. What would you say to someone who has experienced that and feel like, I've wanted to do such and such, but listening to this lady here now, I can make it? Say something enriching and powerful to a listener who might be going through this or has gone through it.
Well, a couple of things. One, realize that a lot of times when people are criticizing you or telling you can't do it, a lot of times it's because they don't think they can.
Mm,
Or they have, and sometimes it's jealousy, but what it comes down to, they feel like they can't do what you were doing, or they may even admire you, but instead of doing that, they'll tear you down because, as they say, misery loves company, right?
mm-hmm,
Instead of
mm-hmm.
doing the work, they just want to tear you down.
Yeah,
Um, Also, they always say, find your tribe.
yeah,
You have to find someone who, where you two can be each other's support,
yeah.
and you find like-minded people, and you still, even then, be discerning, because they could act like they're in your corner. So definitely, um, work on your own mindset, work on your own heart, and realizing that you are here for a reason. And if something is burning in you to really do, or just seems part of your core of who you are, then that's it.
Mm,
No matter what anybody says, if you feel like you have to, well, it's true, if you have to move, go find a space you can be by yourself. Something in you will die if you don't do what that calling is. That's just the nature of it.
yeah.
Because I can honestly say, um, whenever whenever I'm not singing, I know something's wrong.
Mm,
And whatever it is that you feel like you have to do, you'll see that you'll start to be depressed. So you have to do it. So you have to find your tribe. You have to build up your mind and your own resolve to do it
right.
no matter what. So I would
Yeah.
say those two things.
That's good. That's really, really good.
Mhm.
So we're giving you a bravo. I thank you so very much, my sister, for gracing us on the Bravo platform. We love to keep it here, keep it real, keep it loose, keep it comfortable, keep it
Mhm.
authentic, where people can walk away with understanding and just meeting someone new that they never might have met in their walk of life, right?
True.
So I've wanted to bring you on to give you your standing ovation and your bravo, because I really
Yeah.
believe you deserve it. And I wanted you to kick off Women's Month here on Bravo.
Mhm.
Every show this month, I have a great woman on the platform.
So,
The things that they have done, it's kind of like giving you your flowers, like now,
mhm.
not literally, but literally,
No,
you know.
absolutely.
Let's
Yeah.
see, we got a comment here. Let's put the comment up before you go. Yes, sometimes people see in what you do, not see. And yes, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes, that
Right.
is so true. That is so very true.
And
And
no,
so go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. And say
No.
no, it's God given. It's like, if God's rooting for you, you can't let the noise drown it out. That's like,
That's
yeah.
the noise drown. Don't let the noise drown it out. This is some comments that they put up while you were singing. Uh-huh. Here's another comment that was put up while you were singing, and
Wow.
they said beautiful, amazing. So you have really blessed us tonight,
Thank
and um,
you.
I'm gonna come reach out for you again. Give you a couple of. I do believe God is gonna open those doors and put you back on those stages, because that artist in us does not go to sleep because it's passion, and passion doesn't go to sleep. I did a concert, my cousin Janice says bravo, my sister. I hadn't did a concert in a long time. I mean, not this kind of concert. And
Uh-huh.
it was for the first day of Women's Month. It
Oh,
was the
nice.
Yeah, and it was at the city hall in Mount Vernon for the mayor and the staff and folks and different. She gave different awards and honorees and stuff. And it was weird because I had not been in that kind of space in a while. It was live with musicians, because they kind of cut musicians out of the way, and you have to bring tracks now, and
Yeah.
I really prefer working with live. I prefer musicians.
Mm-hmm.
It gives us the room to do what we do. And I wanted to measure what I felt. So
Mm-hmm.
when you said you want to get back out there, I understand that, because I'm like, I was ready to say, oh, forget about it. But when the call came, I said,
Yep.
okay. And I was like, let me see how I feel back, in this space live, and it was some gospel and some R&B. So the split, they requested both lanes.
Oh,
So
wow.
because I had been in, singing gospel for all these years, which So when they wanted me to pull out my hat stuff from my BC days, before Christ, I, I was like, wait a minute, do what? I was like, okay, well, when they pay you, you do. Hey, when they pay you, you give them what they want, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
was so funny singing that. I said, this feels weird. This feels different. But I had fun with it. And that's the
Nice.
whole thing. I felt like, oh, this is nice. They said, you want to do more? We'll put you on Summer Breeze. We'll put you on this. We'll put you in the Memorial Stadium. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Wait. I have no interest in touring and doing all of
Right.
that right now. I just, know a lot. But God say, then I'll do it. So I do know what you mean when you say you want to get back into that feeling of creative, being on that stage and just like, just being. And it's something
Yeah.
that's innate that God has placed in us since the foundation of the earth. He put us in our mother's womb. He placed that in there too while he was at it.
Yep.
So I God bless you in all that you do. You and I
Thank
will be
you.
in touch. Before you leave, I want to give a shout out to a couple of women who really helped me. I just celebrated
Nice.
a year on YouTube. Well, let me correct that. I just celebrated a year on my platform, Bravo with Sheila. Because I've been on YouTube with a whole lot of things I was putting up years ago. I didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't have a channel. So we
Right.
celebrated a year. Bravo celebrated a year. And if it wasn't for certain people, I mean, I would still be
Mhm.
here, but they've made it so much easier for
That's awesome.
me to be in these YouTube streets, right? I've learned so much from other people's platforms, like you saw Sir
Mm.
Hale and his wife, and so many different people that I've learned from in terms of how you navigate in these YouTube streets,
Mm.
right?
Nice.
So, but as I celebrated, while I celebrated, sometimes people, I am not monetized, right? So you get 1,000 subscribers or more, and then you become monetized, right?
Right.
If that happens, that's wonderful. But as long as I stay the course and stay on my assignment that he has given me, then I'm okay. Anything
Mhm.
extra, then bravo to that, right?
Oh,
So celebrating that, a couple of people sold into my channel because I've been trying to get some things to upgrade, right? I figure, okay, I've been here 1 year, let me try to upgrade. And so certain people sold uh, a blessing seed into me.
nice.
And one of the persons is on here now, and her name is Ine Kenya. And she sowed a nice seed, and I'm putting her comment up where she says amazing. And I put amazing up because she was saying that to you, and now I'm bringing her comment back to her and telling her
Mm.
she's amazing. And she sowed a seed that allowed me to get something that I wanted to get. She doesn't know this, but I'm telling her now publicly, and I'm thanking her publicly for
Wow.
sowing this seed because I wanted to elevate some things here. I don't see Lady Navoa. She was here. I wanted to put her, but anyway, and Nate, thank you because I was grateful enough to get my new microphone, um,
Woohoo!
which I'm going to have. I'm the Rode, and Ine, I have the Rode, and I also have the Rodecaster Pro 2, which is the hottest thing right now for podcasters, the hottest thing that is happening. And I called Sir Hale, and he told me what to do in terms of what to get. And so I got the Rodecaster Pro 2, the
Nice.
soundboard, which I don't want to show you now. The lights are not on, so it don't look too pretty right now. But I wanted to thank Ine for helping me to get this new microphone,
Mm,
and Lady Navoa, they sowed a seed a couple of weeks ago, which allowed me to go forward, to move forward in what I'm doing here in the streets of YouTube. So anyway, I
yes.
just wanted to give Inea bravo and a standing ovation because she's always here. She's always been here, whether sometimes it's just
Wow.
her and I. She's always there to support me, and she doesn't know how much it means to me, but it means so much. So I wanted to publicly thank her. And I want to thank you, my sister, for being here.
Thank you. Seriously, thank
Yes,
you for this
yes, yes, yes,
opportunity.
yes. Let's put this comment up before we go. My cousin says, God is opening doors for you. Amen.
Mm, I'll-
Amen. Amen. And he's doing a lot, he's doing some things, different things with me right now. And I'm
awesome.
allowing him to do it. I'm just being obedient. And so to all of you, Sir
Mm,
Hale, Lady Hale, all of you, and Nate Janice, Lady Navoa, all of you who stopped in, who popped
mm.
in, those of you in the bleachers, I see you. You did not. I always see them in the bleachers, and it's fine. They're here. They don't want to be in the chat. They don't have to be in the chat,
Right.
but they're here and they're watching, and I appreciate that. And so stay tuned for more Bravo with Sheila.
Absolutely.
Thursday, we have another wonderful, wonderful woman that we're going to give a standing ovation to. And I hope that you guys come back. Remember, when nothing changes, nothing changes. And you got to what? Keep it moving. So, Sabrina, stay right there while I close out the show with a soft closing. Ciao, guys. Ciao.
Ciao.
I hope you guys hit that button, that like button. Maybe I need to put this up before I go. That's for the people that come later and they might forget, right? And I know folks in the chat already hit that like button. And if you didn't
Woohoo.
subscribe, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, but make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Once again, God bless you and thank you for being here.
Thank you.